As you know, earlier, Trump did a rally where he uses the word bloodbath or something like that, and they came out and said, "Oh, he wasn't talking about this. He was only talking about about the car deals or the bringing in import cars, etc." But that's not what it is. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side because there is an explanation that I use a software protocol to define later on. So let's take a look at this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Former president made this ominous comment.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars.
The Trump campaign tried to clarify, saying he was talking about the auto industry. But the Biden campaign seized on the comment, saying Mr. Trump is doubling down on his threats of political violence.
Anybody who thinks Donald Trump was speaking about cars when he used the word, it's going to be a bloodbath if I don't get elected, just doesn't understand how this guy works. And then, he's just following the autocratic playbook. He's putting certain phrases into the ethos. He's actually doing that subliminal commendation of people. When he says it's going to be a bloodbath and that's going to be least of it, and then he interfaces that with statements on cars on the left and statements on cars on the right. You know, in programming software, in programming protocols, we had a protocol called the Modbus protocol, right? And we had it running on top of some other protocols and software. What we would do is we'll send a whole string of message, and that message looked like it's, it is just mixed up with a whole bunch of stuff, right? And then we have the software that goes ahead and selectively picks out the message that it needs. So you have this stream of data coming over. It looks like a whole bunch of gobbledygook. But in reality, in that one big stream of data, there may be data for a clock. There may be data for that have numerical data in there. There may be data for time stamping. There may be data for all these things, and they're all framed, right? And you have your software that goes in, and that whole stream is passing in front of him, and this software takes out just what it needs. This other piece of software takes out just what it's need as that stream of data goes along. That is how Donald Trump speaks. An incoherent mess of data, of words, of which every sect within his MAGA folks, they select the pieces that they are armed for. So when he talk about it's going to be a bloodbath, the militia folks see the things. When he talks about putting on tariffs on cars that nobody will be able to sell cars here, the sycophants or the particular group of folks that don't understand economics, that triggers them. So within that mass of gobbledygook that he puts out there, every segment within his MAGA population gets to extract the piece that touches them. You know, when he goes out and talk about replacement theories and all these kinds of things, realize what they're doing. They are building a coalition in an organic manner, whereas Democrats have coalitions that they talk about. We bring in this identity, that identity, and then we try to create our message that blend all of this together. They don't attempt to do any kind of blending. They use the Modbus protocol. Well, not the Modbus, because the Modbus has some other features to it, but they use a protocol where you just go ahead and give data, and everybody of a particular sect that call themselves MAGA just extract that piece that corresponds to them, and they don't have to coexist. That's why you could have a black gay MAGA guy who, things would work fine if he hadn't gone to this white supremacist rally or whatever he went to, and then they started to use racial slurs and gay slurs on him. Well, he thought he was MAGA, and he is MAGA. Because the way Donald Trump arranges MAGA is all these MAGAs don't sit down and talk policy. They extract what they want from the MAGA movement. And that is what we have to understand. Whereas we look for coherency, we look for stickiness, that we all come together of different identities, different cultures, etc., and coexist because we can have a common existence. They don't care about common existence even within the MAGA thing.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.